This footage shows the moment an aged man was rescued by his neighbors after his wife and 4 children hired about 6 Aboki men to bind, silence, and abandon him for death. The reason behind this shocking betrayal will leave you questioning just how far some people are willing to go to satisfy their own greed.
They don't want me.
Sorry, Papa.
The incident, which had gone viral on social media, was said to have occurred in the early hours of Thursday, March 13, 2025, at the family's residence in Sango, Ogun State, Nigeria. On that fateful morning, the landlords and residents around the area were said to have heard loud noises coming from the residence of the rescued man, whose identity could not be ascertained at the time of making this report. Since it was still very early in the morning and most people were still enjoying their sleep, the residents, who felt disturbed by the loud noises, decided to go out and check what was going on. On stepping out, they traced the noise to the compound of the rescued man. In his residence, the neighbors saw a small bus and tricycle parked outside the house. They also saw the man's wife and children packing out some properties and loading them into the bus as though they were relocating. This scene appeared strange to the neighbors because the house the children were packing out from was not rented, rather it was built by their father. The concerned neighbors then approached the wife and children to ask what was going on. The family came up with an explanation that didn't make any sense to them. That was when the neighbors forced their way into the house, only to find their father completely restrained and some Aboki men surrounding him as though they were waiting to take his life. The neighbors quickly raised an alarm, which attracted more people to the residence. The man was untied and also taken to the hospital for emergency treatment, while the Ogun State Police Command were called to the scene. The police rushed to the residence and then took the man's wife, his children, and the Aboki men into custody for questioning. Further investigations would reveal a shocking betrayal that would make you question the true meaning of family. During interrogation, it was discovered that the man's wife had visited the police station the previous day to file a complaint that her husband was trying to take her life. It was reported that the police had told her to get a bus so that she could take some officers to her house to arrest her husband. However, the woman was said to have left the station that evening and never returned. Further investigation also revealed that the rescued man was a retired civil servant, but there is no information on where he worked and also how long it has been since he retired. It was discovered that trouble started after the man refused to hand over his entire pension funds to his wife and 4 sons to spend as they wished. It was said that after the man received his retirement payout, he gave his wife 3 million naira and also used some of the money to open 2 shops for her in Abule. The man was said to have used 12 million naira to buy himself a car since he had already built a house for himself and his family in the area. His wife and sons, who are all university graduates, were said to have expressed dissatisfaction over how he distributed his money. They then ganged up to pressure him into giving them more money. The pressure got so high that the man decided to sell the new car he got himself shortly after acquiring it. This distressed sale raised a lot of suspicions among the neighbors, but unfortunately, they were not privy to the affairs of the man's family until that fateful Thursday morning. It is not known if the man handed the entire proceeds from the sale of his new car to them, or if he used it for something else. What we do know is the fact that his wife and children were still not satisfied with the amount of money he had shared with them. The wife was said to have connived with her sons immediately after leaving the police station the previous day to hire some Aboki men whom people believe were instructed to finish off the man after they had emptied the house of all his properties. The Aboki men admitted to being paid by the man's wife to help restrain him while they stole his property. The driver who drove the Aboki men in his tricycle to the residence also confessed that it was the man's wife who hired them for the job.
Who call you? Who call you?
That woman.
Now that woman call you.
The woman where get the.
Who tie am?
Sir?
Who tie am?
Me and my brother. My brother.
Now two of you tie am.
No.
Who tie am? Who tie am? Who? Who tie the man?
Me and my brother. Why you call me?
Now you tie am.
No, be only me.
No, not be only you. Now you and who? You and who?
I'm 5 faces.
5. Now you tie am. This one dey.
No.
This one. Who call this one? Eh?
Marwa carry me come here.
Moto carry you come here.
Marwa
carry this pack come. Na Marwa carry you come, abi?
This one.
Who call you come? Who call you come in the first place? Who call you come? Na woman, na the mother.
Yes,
Eh?
the mother.
It's okay. She still dey shop, abi?
If you don't go shop, they go carry them.
Okay.
It remains unknown what their intentions towards the man were after they had successfully carted away his properties. In the video, the man could be heard shouting that they wanted to kill him.
They won't kill me. They say when they kill me. You know this They don't wound me. Sorry, Papa.
It is also unclear if the wife in question was separated from the husband, but judging from the fact that he gave her 3 million naira out of his pension payout and still opened 2 shops for her, it is very likely that they were still together. Also, as for the children, there is no information on what he offered to them, so it is unknown if he had also given them money or started a business for them as he did for his wife. Regardless of whatever the case may be, it is still disturbing to think that a child would connive with his mother to do such a thing to his father.
You know, see the they tie my neck.
They will tie your mouth.
They tie my mouth. They tie my neck.
You know if you shout. Oh God.
They tie my mouth. They tie my neck.
We can only imagine what could have happened if the neighbors minded their business and didn't force their way into the house to check what was going on. The case remains under active investigation, and as more details emerge, you will be duly updated. Let me know what you think about this case in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching and stay safe.